Zoras, the sea, pirates, and the large temple. That's the Great Bay for you. A curse has fallen over the ocean, when everything became murky and desolated. Crazy creatures spawned in because of this murkiness, and everything in between is now involved in a battle of survival or death. The far east of the Great Bay coast is being secluded by a large fortress of the Gerudo pirates, and in the north we can find the amazing but mysterious Great Bay Temple that has been affected by this curse. Skull Kid placed the curse upon the bay, with Georg being the guarding boss fish in the Great Bay Temple, guarding the third giant that was imprisoned within the temple. Georg was once a small little fish, but the murky waters of the bay caused him to grow incredibly large, and the magic of Majora's Mask kept him in that form. Now, before we go further into the temple, I first have to talk about the origin of the temple. A large mechanical factory, designed and built to keep the flow going and to clean up the murky water that the ocean is now filled with, causing terrible mutations to the surroundings of the bay. Large sea snakes are now swimming around in the area called Pinnacle Rock, and other weird creatures are now a threat to the Zora clan. Now, before the curse and before the temple was even made, the Zora clan decided to live their lives in Zora Cape, which is now their home. But in order to keep on living here, they had to do something about the murky water, as this wasn't the habitat that they were searching for to survive. The Great Bay Temple is the opposite of Jabu Jabu, the Patreon deity of the Zoras back in Ocarina of Time, with Jabu being a real organic fish that you can enter as Link, and in Majora's Mask, it's a large fake fish in the ocean, and we also enter inside this fake fish, with it being entirely mechanical. As time went on, the Zoras had to come up with a solution to solve the dirty water problem. This is where the research center came into play. The center, having the shape of a bomb, is the home of the professor, a person that Link met in Ocarina of Time around Lake Hylia. Together with the professor when he was much younger, they came up with the plan to restore the ocean by building a large mechanical factory or pump to get rid of the dirty murky water. Years went by, and the factory was eventually built by the cooperation of two different cultures, humans and Zoras. In the Majora's Mask manga, it was explained by the turtle that Lulu, the lead singer of the Zora band, is a descendant of a clan that protected Great Bay long ago. As turtles can become extremely old, one could say that this turtle also knew this clan once upon a time. Now the manga isn't canon, but it does make sense how he knows Lulu, because the mother of Lulu was also called Lulu, which is explained in the milk bar back in Clocktown. Eventually, the factory was built in the Great Bay, therefore it was called the Great Bay Temple. The temple itself can be seen far away into the ocean, guarded by something that the Gerudo pirates called the Dragon Cloud. Skull Kid spoke to these pirates, but he spoke of a large treasure that the temple has protected there, causing the pirates to build a base in the bay that started the raiding party. What Skull Kid didn't tell the pirates though, is that the Zora eggs that the pirates are after have nothing to do with the temple itself. The Gerudo pirates didn't know what the eggs did that they stole from Lulu back in the Zora Hall, as the only lead that they had was a clue that these eggs seemed to protect. But other than that, they had no idea, so they couldn't be the ones building the factory. Some people asked me in the comments a couple of times if the Gerudo made the Great Bay Temple, or they asked me if I have an idea of where the Gerudo came from. In my opinion, they existed because of Link's imagination, and like I said prior, the Zoras are responsible for the creation of the temple, and not the Gerudo. And there was also never a mentioning of a dark, twisted king with these pirates, even though Ganondorf was supposed to be in the game, but never happened, as he is found somewhere I believe in the data files. These pirates were unfortunately around for one thing, which was a plot for the game, and nothing else. And then at last, we enter the temple. The architecture of the temple is interesting and strange at the same time, as some parts of it are also found in the Gerudo fortress. Now, I said before that I don't think the Gerudo ever made the temple. However, one thing I do have to note here that must be a coincidence. The ice arrows, the arrow that allows you to freeze things you shoot at, are found in the Great Bay Temple. But these same arrows are also found in the Gerudo training ground in Ocarina of Time. In both versions of Majora's Mask and 3D, we can see fish symbols around the walls, neon lights everywhere, large fish faces, coral symbols, and so on. A factory definitely designed by someone that loves fish too much. And at the end of the factory, we find Georg, the boss of this temple. Georg is a name change, with Geo or Gyo, I have no idea exactly how to pronounce it, being fish in Japanese. Originally, this monster was the curse that plagued the bay, which is a little bit weird when thinking about the factory design. So I'd say that Skull Kid switched the factory off, and Georg was placed to guard at the end where the clean water flows out to. Now, we could also imply something else here, because the room is incredibly interesting. Georg could also have been an offering to the gods, as in Japan, a lot of rituals within Shinto religion take place trying to please the kami, or spirits. And these offerings were done with all kinds of different food supplements or other things, but also with fish. As Georg defends the third giant, it wouldn't surprise me that Skull Kid placed the fish here to be sacrificed for a higher cause. This idea could have started when the factory was being built, as nature spirits couldn't have liked the idea of a large factory within their beautiful ocean, so the kami had to be pleased with sacrifices throughout the years. Pinnacle Rock is the first destination when thinking about getting materials to build such a place, which could explain why Pinnacle Rock even exists, but by doing so, disturbed the nature spirits there. The turtle mentions ancient gods that watch over him, but this can be seen in a different perspective, as some deities can be called gods or spirits or even the kami, yet they do not have to be any of them. Majora and Fierce Deity are one of these spirits, but they don't have to be gods. They are both living or wandering kami, with each of their own perspectives of life. One wants to destroy it all for fun, and the other wants to protect it so he can rule over that life. And this same feeling falls over the Great Bay Temple, with the Zoras wanting to live in the Great Bay, but the spirits rather want them all gone. Another duality in the world of Termina. Thank you all for watching. I hope you liked the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video.